In this video, I'm going to review how you can use Excel for calculating final grades. It will involve several steps that you have already done before in previous videos. The first thing to do is to label a new sheet as final grades and then bring over, by copying and pasting, your student ID and gender columns. Then go to the scores that you highlighted in red, which are noted as the weighted scores that should all add up to 100, and then copy and paste them into your final grade sheet, just like this. You do not need to keep them red anymore. In the case of this example, the product and process scores were consistent with the weighted scores, so the raw scores were the weighted scores, and that's why there are no weighted designations here. Cognitive scores. Here again, the raw scores for the cognitive written are consistent with the weighted scores, so they're designated accordingly. Oops. Affect, and we have weighted scores again. One final. In this affective assessment, students were given participation points of 5 for completing a questionnaire. Whether or not you want to include your affective written assessment is your choice, but most people do not. Alright, so final grade here in our dummy row should add up to 100%. There's a simple way to do this. If you have a continuous string of variables, as in here we have the fitness score all the way through to the weighted score, you can simply write the formula like this. Otherwise, you can click on the column, add a plus sign, click on the next column that you want to add, and so forth. So we check our green box, and it adds to 104. Likely because there was an error in this calculation here. So let me just go back and check that out. If we notice an error, but in case of the steps for Excel, you basically follow the mathematical steps to sum columns. And then you have your GPA for this particular unit. Representation of all the standards and the domains that are all linked to the actual scores representing those assessments. So you can now use your GPA grading scheme here and assign grades of A, B's, and C's if you like. As you can tell, this class did not do very well, and if this ends up happening in your data set, that is not a problem. You can just reflect on these scores in the way you respond to subsequent assignments. So here we would have, I think, a C, a B, and so forth. So it would depend on what your scores are in your grading scheme.